Satisfactory, a factory building game. This was done by Coffee Stain Studios, the folks who brought you the Sanctum Tower Defense series and Goat Simulator. The game is still in early access, so fair warning. I've played it off and on since it came out on the Epic Store about a year ago in June 2019, I think. I really enjoy these games. I've sunk hundreds of hours into Factorio, so these factory building games are always a fun time for me. Since this is an early access update, but also the first time reviewing, but also sort of a preview? I'll restrain myself from slapping an official review on it. So how's the game? It's honestly quite fun. It has a bit of a steep curve to entry and a bit of a slow start. Thankfully, they've added the ability to skip past what I would call the tutorial part of the game. So if you're a returning player, you'll jump right into Tier 1. But if you're new, you'll learn the basics if you don't. You'll learn the new power system, how conveyor belts work, how to refine, and so on. Also, I should give a beginner's tip. Never, ever get addicted to manual crafting. If you can automate it, do it. Plus, it'll save you from breaking your mouse by putting a brick on it. But anyway, after the tutorial, you build a space elevator and start making parts for it to advance to the next tier. Every tier in this game will unlock something new and exciting. Each thing unlocked is a new tool to play with, like when you finally tap into the coal resource, which is, strangely enough, an infinite energy resource. Of course, you still have to fiddle with jump-starting it with your biomass generators. But then on, it should be smooth sailing. Eventually, you'll have to set out to get newer resources and explore the map. And the map is quite beautiful, to be frank. Unlike Factorio, there's not much incentive for exploration in that game, but in Satisfactory, there's so much worth getting out there and exploring. There's wreckages scattered throughout the map, which has a pod you can open, and inside it, it will contain a hard drive. What does the hard drive do? After scanning it for 10 minutes, it can provide an alternate recipe that can simplify more complex components, or make them downright exploitable if you have the right setup. But aside from wreckages, there's also power slugs. Power slugs are these neat little bugs that you can take and refine into crystals after researching them. Then you can also overclock your buildings. Overclocking them makes them consume more power, but also makes them go exponentially faster. I personally prefer adding them to a resource node so they can extract more materials. Again, unlike Factorio, resource nodes are infinite, so you're welcome to sit on top of them if you're patient. But that's not fun. You can explore and even set up a logistics line between your factories or outposts that you can build out in the world. You can record an autopilot for trucks to deliver goods to stations. And after a while, and, well, serious resource investing and building time, you can make train tracks. These are the big boys that haul tons of cargo from one place to the next. The map is quite huge as well, so this would be a very worthwhile investment. Speaking of map, however, I feel like they hide the map functionality a bit too far down the tech tree. This would be infinitely useful earlier for newer players so they don't get horribly lost. A nice feature they've added is the Awesome Shop and Awesome Sink. The Awesome Sink lets you shove your useless materials into a machine to get converted into points. Get enough points, get a ticket, and use your tickets to buy a fancy thing from the Awesome Shop. They have stuff like this coffee cup, teeny factory cart, and Tesla's Cyberwagen. That's not copyrighted, I hope. It has groundbreaking square wheels. I have never seen such an amazing design in my life. Elon Musk is a genius! But that aside, the game is very much a Zen garden game with factory building. It certainly suits that atmosphere with the rather nice soundtrack, which I fully appreciate. It's a nice ambience one, which, well, I always seem to have a thing for ambient soundtracks. Ambience is important and sets the mood of your game. There is multiplayer, but I prefer playing it solo, since you have a say on what goes on and can ultimately figure out what to do, at least without finding a friend who built a spaghetti monster that's just sucking up resources. There's plenty of room on the map for a few people, and I would say that you all should work together to make complex parts, but personally I feel that if you are alone in this sandbox, you can weave metal like Magneto to make that perfect factory. There is nothing more satisfying than building up a parts factory than having it fully loaded train, then riding that train to your main factory, seeing it unload all those parts, and you get those big fancy parts made and get to throw them into the awesome sink for your next milestone or something. The gameplay loop here is very addicting, almost as addicting as Factorio. but a lot more chill, since now you don't have to worry about monsters attacking you. Regardless, whatever happens in the development of this game is perfect to me. Coffee Stain has done an amazing job with world building and building a quirky universe here. I cannot wait for this game to be completed. I have no clue when it will be completely done, but even the early access version of this game is something to enjoy. Yes, there's a learning curve because it is 3D Factorio, but in the future you'll learn how not to spaghetti your factories, and that sort of makes factory building in this game a bit of an art to a degree. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this preview review? Early access check-in? I don't know what to call this video type. It's hard to say. Either way, this game is well worth the investment even at this time. I freaking love these factory games that get that engineer mindset going. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video. Nuke that subscribe button if you want more. I'm Mr. B, and I'm addicted to Satisfactory. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.